I'm Corbett Wall, DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, May the 5th, brought to you in part by Livestock Risk Services. There's several people out there, or a lot of different outfits out there, selling these LRPs. Livestock Risk Services does as much or more of it than anybody. They've just opened that deal up where, if it wasn't big enough for you, if your head counts were limited there and you weren't able to get covered through that, they just opened it up this week, guys. So you need to call them and see if it'll cover you now, especially for you guys that feed several cattle. It's probably going to be a better deal for you than just hedging them on the board. But the government will come in there and kick in at least 30% of that premium. So where else are you going to find that, guys? Up to as much as about 55% is what I've heard on there. But if you guys want to get a policy there to protect the cattle that you've got turned out on grass, even to protect your calves if you're a cow-calf producer, or if you feed cattle, get a hold of Livestock Risk Services. Tell them kind of what you need, visit with them a little bit, and get protected there for this volatile market. Selling with time, and that's what's been going on this week and last week for the most part with your fed cattle arena. Your packers know that we've got, and I'm not going to call it a wall of cattle, but we've got higher numbers of market-ready cattle approaching the market here. Now, we're not in it yet. They're still short of sure market-ready cattle, but we've got cattle coming. And so they're trying to buy cattle down the line here, and then they'll fill their coffers up where they don't need very many cattle. And then just about the time that those big numbers hit the show list, then they won't need very many cattle to buy on the open market in a negotiated trade, so they can really rip the head off the market position. That's what they've always done. That's what they're always going to do. So they're trying to buy cattle primarily for late May, the week of May 22nd, the week of May 29th, which really gets you into Memorial Day there. And then, of course, that's going to be a shortened week of kill. So they're sure not going to need many cattle there. They're going to try to get some market position back. A lot of guys have been selling them. Last week alone, we had 50,000 head sell for the 2 to 4 week delivery on there. We're likely going to have another big run of that this week. Your packers are also splitting your fat cattle up into those that were placed on feed as big calves, or those that were placed on feed as yearlings. The old croppers, they call them. So they definitely want the old croppers, not the fancy calves, because the old croppers are going to grade better. They're going to have better carcasses up there, more attractive to your buyers. And the calves are going to be lighter carcasses, so we're finally going to see the carcass weights start to come back, and they should come back quite a bit as we get into the calves there. But just some things that are going on in your fat cattle arena right now, the way they're splitting things up. We're still running $6, $7, and $8 premium in the northern plains because they've got better grading cattle, and basically all the grading is, most of you know, is just marbling or specks of fat intramuscular there. So they're just cattle that's been fed longer, been fed harder, but you got the southern plains still selling mostly around 140, and the northern plains and even into Colorado selling 146, 7, and some 8 there. But that's a pretty big premium there. And you see that, and it's funny that the guys in the southern plains don't think that they can get paid for better cattle. Well, if they've got better cattle, price them higher like the guys do in the northern plains, and they get paid for those cattle. But also, so what I saw middle of the week here is Oklahoma State and Darrell Peel there, the economist, beef economist, had an article come out in Beef Magazine, which several of you probably seen that, but talking about the sell-off of the cows and the deep culling that we've seen, especially up in the northern plains in South Dakota, eastern Montana, North Dakota, places up there. But through mid-April, your beef cow slaughter running 17% for sure more than the same time a year ago. And what he did with his analysis, it says that this suggests that a current pace of beef herd culling rate is 13.8% of the beef cow herd. That is huge for beef culling, that big of a percentage there. And he said this is a record going back to 1986. Wow. And he's actually not expecting this to continue that much because he feels like the really dry conditions in the winter brought on the deepest of the culling, and we are starting to see some drought relief in many of your major cow production areas there, but not expecting it to be this high of a rate going forward, but still expecting it to be a record going back to the mid-1980s. That's blowing right by the 2012, 2013 that brought on the record calf prices of 2014, guys. So, things are going to get really good if you can at all stand to hang in there. But he's still expecting, Darrell Pill is, that your January 1st inventory for beef cows is going to be 3 to 4% less. That is a ton, after we saw 2% less this last time. So that will encourage investors into the futures market and things like that. But just a little bit of information there on your cow numbers, which are, we've been killing these cows. But the great thing is that our cow market, way up cow market, was really good during the heaviest of the culling, and we've filled our coffers back up now with ground beef in your cold storage. We've been feeding the world with that cow beef because they've just been really short of it in places like Australia that had record drought there a year or two ago, and their numbers are so down that they're not shipping too much out, and the price is high on those. But just kind of brush-fed cattle, which would be probably less desirable to eat than a lot of our beef cows, for sure, our dairy cows that get fed grain every day. But a little bit of talk about your cow business there. Let's talk about your board. On Wednesday, your June live cattle futures down 50 cents at 134.82. August down a quarter at 137.07. Your back months were down 2 cents to up a quarter. So really nothing going on too much in your live cattle pits there. May feeder cattle were down 15 cents. I know they're down a little bit, but didn't pull back from the huge gains that we saw on Monday and Tuesday. So that shows strength for the market without pulling way back from the huge gains that we've already seen this week. But May feeder cattle ended the session at 162.25. August was down 7 cents at 176.20. You look at your back months, and had 1 month of back month that was down. It was down 60 cents. That was April of 2023. All your other feeder cattle back months were up 30 to up 75 cents. So it's been a banner week for your feeder cattle futures so far this week. And corn has been down some, but not enough to really rationalize the gains that we've seen in your feeder cattle. And on Wednesday, your corn was up 1 1/4 cents, all at $7.94 1/4. That's the July contract. Beans are up 10 cents at $16.40 1/2. Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 30 1/2 cents at $11.23 1/4. Talk about your fat cattle trade. We did see significant trade in your Midwest areas of Kansas and Nebraska on Wednesday. Colorado even printed, so they're getting a third buyer coming in there buying cattle. They're really hungry right now, but they're buying more negotiated trade cattle, and they're buying a lot of them for that 2 to 4 week delivery to set the market up for a big fall. Colorado, 600 head confirmed on Wednesday, all at 146 live. Good price in Colorado. A lot of times Colorado will tend to fade back and trade with the southern plains of Texas and Kansas, but they're not right now because likely they're going in there and creaming the better cattle in Colorado right now. But Iowa, 8,400 head confirmed on Wednesday, 144 to 147. Dress trade, not as impressive as your live trade, but 229 to 232, that's still in the range of last week, but not as high up within that range as your live prices are. Nebraska, 20,800 head confirmed on Wednesday as high on a live basis as they dared to be last week, 146 to 148. So we're fully steady, guys. 228 to 234, a bit better in the dress market in Nebraska there. Kansas, 2,500 head, and we did see some higher prices there. We saw a fairly significant amount of 141. Now we heard that we had 141 bids, and on Tuesday from a regional, evidently they got some cattle bought. They were confirmed on Wednesday's session, but 140 to 141, so you got to call the market a little bit stronger, and some dress trading in Kansas from 230 to 232. Texas, they never really got offered to 141, and your Southern Plains packers thought they'd go ahead and clean up Texas at the 140 before they got wind of it. But 7,500 head in Texas, which is a significant trade, middle of the week in Texas at 140, and that's fully steady. Box beef cutout values were up just a smidge, but surely not recovering the losses that we've seen for the last many sessions, when they should be kind of going up, going into our big early summer grilling holidays. But choice cuts on Wednesday afternoon, $259.74, up 19 cents. Selects up 34 cents at $247.68. Your slaughter, 363,000 through Wednesday. That's 12,000 less than the big week last week, but 7,000 more than the same week a year ago. I want to talk to you a minute about the Cattle U for 2022, kind of an educational cattle series there. Includes a trade show, includes several panels, several presentations there. It'll be a really good educational experience for anybody, especially younger people that are trying to get started in the cattle business, or old people that want to go and listen to the things that are going on right now. But Cattle U 2022 going to be in Dodge City, Kansas, August the 5th and 6th. And that's right during Dodge City Days, so you can go to the rodeo. It's right during the King of the Ring auctioneer contest that they hold at Winter Livestock in Dodge City, Kansas. A lot of things going on in Dodge City that weekend there. But I'm going to be on a marketing panel, which could be very interesting. We're going to sit up there, and they're going to have a lot of questions for us and get this panel. Going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be up there. John Campbell's going to be up there. Steve Stratford's going to be up there. Both of those guys with Winter Livestock. John Campbell in Lahana, Colorado. Steve from Pratt, Kansas. And then Kelly Payne's going to be there from Oklahoma National Stockyard. She's the general manager there. But that should be a very interesting panel. The keynote speaker for that whole deal is Joe Leathers from 4-6's Ranch. So, I mean, it'd be a lot of fun to go to. I did hear about they are having a early bird special. If you register before May the 24th, it's $75 a person. After that, it's $100 a person. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Wednesday set at 155.46. That was up another 88 cents, so pretty good there. Talk about some sales that you guys could get onto, some video sales on DV auction. Western Video Market, way out west in Cottonwood, California, starting at 11:15 Central. It's going to be 9:15 out on the West Coast, but they've got a video sale, not one of their bigger ones, but they've got about 70 lots there, mostly going to be Western top quality calves. But JC Neeson, my contact there, my good buddy, he told me that they did have 15 to 20 lots of yearlings. So you might want to get on there and check Western Video Market out on Thursday. Joplin Regional Stockyards got one of their primetime livestock videos on Thursday. They usually start those at 2 o'clock Central in the afternoon. They've got about 25 lots on there, and it's mostly yearlings there in the 4-state area for the most part. Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri has got a huge bred cow special. And that's going to be starting at 6 o'clock in the evening, and they've got about 1,000 of those things to sell. So you guys sure want to get on to dvauction.com, view all of those sales, and get approved so you can bid. How about your big sales, feeder cattle sales on Wednesday? OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 7,400 head there for the 2-day sale. Feeders sold $1 to $3 higher. Weaned calves $2 to $4 higher. But the soft ballers, and it's starting to get hot over there too, guys. And they've had a lot of moisture over in that area, hot and sticky. That's not good for balling calves when you're trying to straighten them out. But $3 to $5 lower on your unweaned calves, even though they were fall born. But a stick out deal in El Reno, Oklahoma was 62 head, 623 pound stocker type steers, bring $182. El Reno, Oklahoma. How about Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas? 2,400 head for them on Wednesday. Feeders were $2 to $4 higher. They've been selling good. They're trying to gain the ground that the board has gained early this week. Steer calves a higher undertone, heifer calves a lower undertone, but lightly tested. Stick out deal in Dodge City was 84 head of 1,082 pound, big heavy feeder steers there. Bring $141. They won't quite bring that fat, so they're going to have to put the pounds on at less than $1.40 to have hopes of making that deal work, but we wish them the best of luck, guys. How about Sterling Livestock Commission in Sterling, Colorado? Stick out sale for them, 75 head, 751 pound steers, bring $173, guys, Eastern Colorado. How about Creston America, Creston Livestock Auction in Creston, Iowa? They had a really hot sale there. Talked to Kurt Sporleader. He said him and his partner Cody Fry couldn't have been more happy with the sale there. I'm going to give you a quote on 2 loads of yearling type cattle. Now they were 2-way cattle. The lighter load went west to Nebraska to grass. The heavier load stayed right there in Iowa to go on feed. There were Zach Miller's good cattle there. Excellent quality cattle there. 79 head, 714 pound steers, bring $176.75 for stockers. 70 head, 794 pound steers, bring $166.75, weighing that close to 800 pounds to stay right there in Iowa and go on feed. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday, your Rowgrow top quote for the day, come out of Green City Livestock Marketing in Green City, Missouri, north central Missouri right there. They sold 62 head, 903 pound feeder steers, 9 on the front figure there, guys, at $161. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.